Okay guys, just heading down to 7-Eleven, got a few bills to pay, and while I'm doing this I might do a topic on hanky panky in Japan. But before I get into this, I'd like to give a big shout out to Laura for your support on buying me a coffee. You're an absolute legend. So no doubt people who follow Japanese content, stuff like this, they hear about there's not much hanky panky going on in Japan, and I sort of don't really agree with this, and I'll give you some reasons why. So no doubt people have been made aware of people not having as much hanky panky in Japan, and there's a little bit of truth to that, but as usual, it's not the whole truth. The first thing I do when there's always a lot of talk on a certain topic, it piques my interest to find out what are the actual facts behind all this. And I've looked into love hotels and a few of the statistics on this. Now, love hotels is pretty much a unique Japanese thing, and it's basically just a place where couples can hook up and they don't have to go back to their apartments, or they could cheat on their spouses or whatever. It's just a place to do the old hanky panky, and I've looked up some data, and here it is. So here we are, this is the data, and this is what really matters. Have a look, it's just a very slow decrease year on year, and that is in line with population trends. So when you see this, it doesn't mean that less hanky panky is happening. It means that the same amount of hanky panky has been happening, because population is slowly down with this trend. So this data, even though showing a decrease, is actually showing that there's just as much action as there's ever been. So that's a data set over the last 8 years, and as you see, it's trending down, and I sort of look at the facts. If there's less hanky panky going on, surely you will see a decline in love hotels and motels. That seems to be the case. But looking at the data a little bit closely, if you were to put it in with population trends and births, it's following the same pattern. So if population was increasing and love hotels were going down, then you can come to the logical conclusion that there's less hanky panky going on. But when both data sets are going down at a similar rate, you could assume that there has not been much change. So if people are no longer in the hanky panky business, so to speak, they're getting older, and they're sort of no longer doing that because they're getting old, and they've moved on and got married, or whatever the case may be. If there's not the next sort of cohort of people following them through, then you'll find that the amount of love hotels will go down. But as a ratio of per person, it doesn't seem to indicate this. So just looking at the whole business model of the love hotel, that does indicate that it's a bit of a hanky panky society to start with, isn't it? So this sort of thing doesn't happen in Australia. There's not really a business for it. There are some cultural things why people prefer to go to love hotels, but I can get into that in another video. But this sort of casual hanky panky and whatever, it's always been in the Japanese culture, and just because birth rates are falling, it doesn't necessarily mean that there's less of it going on, because you've got a declining population, and also you've got birth control, you've got pressures at work. So if somebody's working a lot, they don't have a lot of time to start a family and whatever, but it doesn't mean that they're not knocking off after work, having a few beers and jumping in the Love Hotel with someone they've met. That doesn't mean that's not happening at all. And the fact that the Love Hotels are sitting at such a high number indicates that they're so popular. So let's have a look at the numbers. So also have a look at numbers. 5,800 all the way down to 4,700. That's only 1,000 in the whole of the country of 130 million. So just have a look at the numbers. That is still a lot. If you were to start at a base of 4,700, you would definitely think that is quite a lot of hotels just geared towards this. So I couldn't get data on what's the average number of rooms per Love Hotel, and I've never been in one myself, but I assume that a dozen maybe rooms would probably be correct, because these places don't look that big. Maybe could even be less than that, but if you have a look at the number of hotels, times it by what you think the average rooms would be, and they're open 24/7, and then divide it by sort of the demographic of the Japanese people that would be using them. So let's say, between like 22 and 40 or 22 and 50, it seems like they're being well used. So if the business would have been more profitable, turning it into a restaurant or something else, that would have happened. But since the market is still been able to absorb that many, that indicates there's quite a bit of hanky-panky going on. Okay, so heading back. So getting back onto this topic of the Japanese having less sex, my gut feeling is that it's true, but as with everything, when there's a lot of this stuff on the internet, it gets clicks and whatnot, and it's just to the extent that it's true, but I don't think it's any different to anywhere else in the world, to be honest. There's a lot of pressure on younger people to work second jobs to save money, because everything's getting so much more expensive, and there's less time to meet people and whatever. But to counter that, there's also the influx of all these apps for casual dating. So you have to keep that in mind as well. And really nobody knows sort of to the extent that these people end up in Love Hotels or anything, but there has to be some amount of success or people wouldn't use them. So my gut feeling is it's a little bit hyped, as with a lot of things, and that's why I like to sort of dig at the data and see what it tells me, really. And what it tells me is it's a little bit overblown. So I don't know about you guys, but leave it in the comments. I'm just an older guy, so I don't really know too much, but what I know is everyone's nerve endings are in the same places, so I can't see how that can change dramatically. Young people are going to do what young people are going to do, and marriage rates are declining, divorce rates are going up as well, so these people are into the sort of the casual dating market, the hanky-panky market as well, so that must add a little bit more data onto the positive side of that, because people in failed marriages or whatever definitely aren't having any sex at all, so people that are out of that sort of situation would be a net positive. So I've also seen data on condom sales, which definitely show that there is a decrease in condom sales, but that doesn't necessarily mean a decrease in sex as well, because I know in Japan that the pill is pretty much universal here. A lot of women take the pill, and also STDs are on the increase. So if STDs are on the increase, that can explain the condom usage going down as well. Anecdotally, where I live, it's mainly older people, but of the married couples under 30, I know of a dozen, and I only know of one that only has one child. The rest have 2, 3, and a couple have 4. So at least in my country area, of the young people that have stayed, they are having children at a much higher rate than they are in the cities. But that's not going to negate the net loss of young people moving from countryside into the city. So as for a place like mine, they could have 20 kids. It's not really going to put much of a dent unless people stay behind and stop working desks and things like that. So I don't know what this sort of phenomenon is, but people will consume news and information that makes them feel better as well. So if they're having troubles romantically or something like that, and they're clicking on all these articles that all these countries aren't doing the hanky panky too, probably makes them feel better. So that might help sort of spread this sort of information around. It's a bit weird how the internet works, but there you go. I don't think Japan is any different to probably what is the truth everywhere else. There's a lot of pressures, as I said before, on people trying to earn money, second jobs, and things just getting so expensive, and people probably don't have the time that they used to when I was growing up to sort of go out and meet people. So I believe it's going down, but I believe it's going down probably at the same rate as everywhere else. That's just my gut feeling anyway. So I'm almost back home, and that's the hanky panky video for the year, and as always, hope you liked the video.
Let's go back home.